Hey everybody, welcome to Almapura Awakenings. Thank you so much for stopping by. I have another transition story for you, and I absolutely love this one. So, I had a client connect with me today for a mediumship session, and her grandmother came to the session from heaven to visit with us. And I have to tell you that my first impression of her is that A, she was really busy here on this earth, and she never sat down and she never took a moment to herself, and she was not a stop and smell the roses kind of lady. And that is literally what she said to me, and she showed me that. She showed me her in a vision walking past this whole pathway full of roses, and she never stopped to smell them or notice them. She just kind of glided right through them. And that was her description to tell me how she was in the world when she was here in a body, that she really didn't have time for the niceties, and she had a lovely life. She told me how much she loved her life, her children, her grandchildren, but she was just more of a kind of down to earth, matter of fact person that dealt with the facts. And so that was right off the bat, like literally the first thing she described to me was her personality, even before she shared with me how she passed and what side of the family she was. And before any of the details, she came in letting me know definitely who she was when she was here on this earth. So the session continued, and we had some other visitors from heaven. And then, of course, she called my attention back to herself, and she told me how she passed and that she just kind of wasn't present with herself, and that she had been in hospice for a little while and was at the time of her passing more in an unconscious state. And I know that people think that being in an unconscious state and passing is more of the norm, but I can share with you that when my mom passed and I saw her, I was with her, the whole family was with her actually. She spoke to us up until the moment that she passed. And she was very lucid and very conscious and very aware of what was occurring to her. So I always kind of, when people in heaven share with me that they passed in an unconscious state, sometimes my clients look at me like, duh. And I'm like, no, but really, I've talked to quite a few people in heaven that were fully lucid and awake when they passed. And so anyway, this grandma was not lucid nor awake, and she was just kind of in an unconscious state, in and out, for a few days prior to her passing. So then, as she's explaining to me how she passed, I said, well, what happened? And then she told me that, that she was in an unconscious state. And then she showed me this vision of being in this like field of flowers, but it was more green than it was flowers. So it was like she was in a field, but it was like a green pasture kind of field with a few flowers here and there kind of sprinkled across the landscape. And the trees were just beautiful, and they were full of colors and fruits and flowers. And the sky was this blue that I have never seen, because it was like blue and then purple and then pink and then bright, and then there were clouds and they were shiny, and then there were stars in the day. I mean, it was just the visual that she gave me um, was her in that space, but waking up in the morning. So, kind of what she helped me to understand is that she laid down at night. But again, she was in an unconscious state. And then the alarm clock rang and she was in heaven, and she woke up, but she didn't realize she was in heaven. She felt like she was waking up in the morning, So she wakes up, and what wakes her up is actually the scent of nature. So the birds are singing, there's a breeze, she can hear the leaves rustling outside. And there's no walls. She's not in like a building. She's literally in this field and in a bed. And it's like this royal, beautiful, fancy, like hotel fancy kind of beds. And so when she wakes up, there isn't any wall. She's not in a room. Like I said, she's just in this field. And the thing that she shares with me is all these little details. Like she can see the different colors of purple in one of the flowers off to the side, and she recognizes how the breeze feels going across her face, and she can smell nature, and the colors are just phenomenal, and she can breathe in a way that she never breathed before, and she felt young, and she wasn't sick anymore, and she just felt youthful and joyful. And when this moment of her transition happened, she found herself sitting on the edge of this royalty bed that she was in, and her feet were like touching the grass beneath the bed as she was sitting on the end of the bed. And she turned around and she looked at me and she goes, now I'm the type of person that stops to smell the roses. And when she said that, roses just kind of came up around the bed and like tickled her feet. And they giggled like the roses themselves, they giggled. And so there was all this wealth of information and visual from her transition. I don't even know if I was able to share all of that. It was just so fast and it was so detailed that I wish I was an artist because the way that her grandma painted that vision for me to understand that um, her big awareness, the thing that she became aware of in heaven is it's the little things. And so when I asked her to, I said, can you sum it up for me, Grandma? Can you can you sum it up? And she says, it's the little things in life that make your life. It's not the big things. I mean, it's great if you have a big accomplishment, if you've had some wonderful achievement, if you have succeeded in some business adventure, the things that the world may glorify us for, or the things that the world may respond to us with, and the reasons that the world might elevate us, celebrate us, validate us, and glorify us are not the things that make up our life. The things that make up our life are the little things, the act of kindness, the moment of compassion, the minute that you recognize that flower is like seven different shades of purple and you can't do anything but feel this huge sense of gratitude where you just say thank you. And it was really beautiful for me to connect with this grandma in heaven because this week particularly, I have been finding myself in this beautiful place of gratitude. And I had said something to God the other day. I was like, hey, God, can you just let me know if you're around? And then I received, not a vision, not a message, but I received this incredible act of kindness from someone and a very good friend of mine. And I understood that that was God answering me through her, and the gratitude that I felt that my friend opened herself um to let God touch my life through her, and that she in turn touched my life so much. I have been finding myself this week just with this overwhelming sense of gratitude in my heart for God and for my friends and my family. And it just when this woman summed it up like that and said, you know, it's not the huge achievements that we make that build our life. It's the little moments that build our life. And that's what she noticed when she got to heaven. And it's a great message, guys. Pay attention to the little things. Thanks for stopping by. Stay blessed.